The flames of the gospel left Jerusalem, the promised land, and arrived in Europe filled with God's grace. And then it moved to the continent of America, bringing the joy of salvation. The flames of the gospel continued to be transported across the Pacific Ocean to the continent of Asia. Many of the Asian people, however, did not accept the gospel due to the idol-worshipping cultures rooted in Islam, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Hinduism. Nevertheless, Korea, which is located on the northeastern tip of the continent, celebrated her 120th anniversary for missions, amazingly resulting in a record growth, where 20% of the population was evangelized. YoungNak Church has been leading this astonishing growth in Korean churches. God's servant, Reverend Han Kyung-chik, served in YoungNak Church with a genuine heart. Recognition worldwide was given to Reverend Han Kyung-chik for his devoted services. In 1992, the Templeton Prize Award was awarded to him. In the 1920s, Reverend Han was seriously sick with tuberculosis while he was attending school in the United States. On the brink of death, he was called by God to a life of ministry, and therefore he lived the rest of his life as God's servant.
제가 영감을 얻었어요. 저는 민족은 너희도 새로운 민족이 되어야 된다. 그러니까 내가 복음을 전파해야 된다. 그런 영감을 받았어요.
Reverend Han had a passion to reach out to people who suffered under the Japanese colonial persecution and also in the Korean War. Reverend Han loved God and the people of God through the practice of missions, educations, and services. These three areas of ministry have played as the core roles of the church. The purpose of missions is to save lost souls that have fallen into sin. YoungNak Church has planted and supported numerous churches in farming and fishing villages. Reverend Han started a special ministry to evangelize hundreds upon thousands of young military personnel and to build more than 1,000 chapels in military facilities. Education is the sole means to evangelize to those who don't know. YoungNak Church established school foundations such as YoungNak and Daekwang. Through these mission schools, many students have received spiritual training. YoungNak has a ministry for the homeless and the poor, 7 welfare facilities such as Aeneas House for cerebral palsy, Board-in-One for children who need parental care, and a single mother's complex for housing and training to re-establish independent homes and care for the elderly. In the past 60 years, God has brought revival to many Korean churches through YoungNak Church. The memorial building for the 50th anniversary was built in 1994. It symbolizes God's grace and love, and it is presently used for education and fellowship. YoungNak Church has taken the responsibility for North Korea mission. We are striving to show and deliver God's love to the people of North Korea, where only lamentations exist. YoungNak Church has also taken the responsibility for world mission. In execution of God's command to evangelize to the end of the world, the church is sending out their missionaries. With the grace of God, we have been tackling many visual problems of sin, ignorance, and poverty. Now we are also facing inner spiritual warfare of idol worship, arrogance, and greed, which is hidden within us. In order to live as sacred children of God, we are seeking 4 objectives, which include education, missions, fellowship, and service. These objectives are attained through the practice of evangelical faith growing, the training of biblical ethics, the implication of the church union, and the application of God's righteousness to our everyday life.
마음으로 생각으로 지은 죄, 이 모든 죄들을 하나님 앞에 회개할 것이죠. 죄악된 본성 자체를 다 드러내서 하나님 앞에.
Now we have a vision for our church's 100th anniversary. The flames of the gospel crossed the Pacific Ocean and landed in Korea. May we continue to advance with these flames of the gospel beyond our national unity to the very day when all the world will glorify our Lord and God.